Well, I am on the Canyon Ferry Reservoir, which is east of Helena, Montana. It's on the Missouri River. Now, a lot has happened since I left the Granite Creek area of the Tetons, which is about 3 to 4 hours south of where I'm at now. I was sick for almost a week, and I did go to Yellowstone, and it was absolute miserable because I was sick. But here are a couple photos of some buffalo while I was going through the park. Once I finished up with that, I went to Bozeman, and I was in Bozeman for almost a week, still a little bit sick, but also recovering. And then I had to get the brakes on my vehicle fixed, and that took about 3-4 days while I was waiting for them to get me an appointment at the Ford dealership. And I did try to make a video in Bozeman, but it seems to be a pretty popular town, or at least people tend to get out there a lot. And I was filming in downtown Bozeman, and there's just people everywhere, so that video didn't happen. You know, once I got my brakes fixed, I basically went straight towards Helena, Montana. And as I was driving there, I was looking for places to get water, and I came across this Goose Bay Marina. They have a campground. There's some public land also nearby, so that's where I'm at now. So I am going to explore the Canyon Ferry, so here we go. Alright, I'm just a little ways down on the reservoir from the dispersed camping that I was at this morning. This is a privately operated campground and marina. They do have a day use area that's free. So I'm going to hang out here a little bit, check out the campground and the marina itself. Alright, this is one of the loops of the campground. I think there's 3 loops. Here's another shot of the day use area at the Goose Bay Marina. They have a pretty decent boat ramp here. And then over in this inlet back there, I think is actually where the marina is. I don't think I can get over there. I think you have to be registered in the campground or registered for the marina. Well, I have come back to the dispersed camping area. I found out that the day use area at Goose Bay is only free for the first 30 minutes. And I needed to grab lunch before continuing on. The one nice thing about the Goose Bay campground is you can pay for a shower even if you're not staying there. It's a few dollars, so it's kind of cool. I didn't take advantage of it. Well, I'm leaving the dispersed camping area next to the Goose Bay Marina. Continue on down the reservoir. Alright, so I'm a little ways back from the reservoir. You probably can see it off in the distance. In the Lewis and Clark National Forest. On the Hellgate Gulch. It looks like there might be some ATV trails lead up to the summit right over here. So I'm gonna hike up it really quick and then we'll head back to the reservoir. There's a lot of private land around the Lewis and Clark National Forest. I was on another service road. Unfortunately, I got to a spot where you're only allowed to enter into the private property for hunting purposes before it got into the national forest. So I'm taking advantage of what I can in this area of the Lewis and Clark National Forest. Alright, before I head out of this Hellgate Gulch area, I'm going to walk down the service road a little bit to check out the condition. Looks a little rough. And then I'm going to head over to the Hellgate Campground. Alright, so I'm at the Hellgate Campground. And I'm actually staying here tonight. Sometimes it's just nice to stay at a paid campground because they have a lot more resources. And I tend to have an issue with trash. I don't manage it properly and then I end up with a full bag of trash and it's hard to dispose of. This campground has full dumpsters which I have access to. I had made this reservation through recreation.gov this afternoon. And so the camp host, it doesn't have the information. He only gets it like every 3 days. And I show up to the site and there's no reservation marker on it. And the site next to me, there was a pretty big group and they were like encroaching on the campground that I selected. So I finally found the camp host and I asked if I could move to a different site. He's like, yeah, sure, but just know there might be some people coming in that made reservations like you today, and so you may end up having to move. So there was a little bit of moving around, talking to the camp host. So it's starting to get towards the end of the day. I'm gonna go for a little swim. And then hopefully I don't have to move again, but have some dinner, and that'll be a wrap for a stay out here on the Canyon Ferry Reservoir. Well, it's a little bit after sunset, and I thought the light reflecting off the lake was still kind of cool, so I came down and filmed it for a little bit. I'm just getting going this morning here at the Hellgate Campground. I'm going to head over to the Hellgate Gulch. I want to walk down that service road a little bit more. Some of the rock formations look pretty interesting, and then we'll keep going on the reservoir. So this is the day use area at the Hellgate Campground. I pulled over here really quick to check it out before leaving the campground. Alright, I'm back out here at Hellgate Gulch, doing a little stroll down the service road. I don't really have a plan of how far we're going to go, just kind of play it by ear. Well, it looks like there's some kind of hiking trail going up this way. It looks pretty intense. I'm going to continue to hike on the service road and then we'll come back and I'll hit this trail. This is going to be the turnaround spot on the service road. This terrain is pretty rugged. I'd love to kind of just hike off the trail up onto some of these peaks, but it's kind of a risky maneuver. So turn around, I'm gonna head back to that hiking trail. All right, I'm back at the hiking trail, and this is basically a scramble right here. I could use a lot of work, but I'm sure this trail doesn't receive a lot of usage, so there's no incentive to maintain it. So just gonna scramble up this trail. All right, situation report. We're looking down the trail. It's above 45-degree slope, loose rock. So the trail, I think, continues up in this direction. I'm not entirely sure. I will tell you right now, I am not going back down this trail. I think I'm going to start cutting across over in this direction. I was, out here yesterday hiking on that ATV trail, so I'm going to see if I can cut over these rocks here a little bit and then hopefully find or connect in with the ATV trail. So it's not really what I want to do. This situation is not great. In fact, it's really bad, honestly. So I'll give a update once I not make it over this first ridge, or maybe the second ridge. I might be able to get a better idea of the lay of the land. So here we go. All right, after about 45 minutes of scrambling, even a little scaling, being in some pretty tight spots, I've got to a much lower risk area. As you can see, it's pretty smooth here. There's not a lot of rocks. I think not enough over this first ridge, but over the second ridge is the ATV trail that I was on yesterday. I want to point out that I had a very low risk of getting lost. I always kept sight of at least one or two peaks. Plus I was able to get glimpses of the reservoir from time to time. I had a much higher risk of getting injured, pretty high risk. I really don't like being in that situation. I've been in a situation one other time in the Cascades where I had to do some pretty intense off-trail hiking to get to a spot where, I could get to a trail. But yeah, so we should make it back to the ATV trail in about 15 or 20 minutes. So yep, it's not a good situation to be in. All right, I'm back at the trailhead, and although there were some good views on that hike, if you could even call it that, again, it's something I didn't want to do, but at the end of the day, it was a safer option than to try to scramble back down the trail. So I'm going to continue to the reservoir. All right, the next stop is the Chinaman's campground. I'm over in the day use area. And just before this, I drove on the road up to Hellgate Gulch. Unfortunately, it was closed for a forest fire. I'm gonna have lunch and then we'll keep moving after I explore this day use area for a little bit. All right, I just got into the town of Canyon Ferry. It looks like there's quite a bit of administrative stuff going on. They have a Bureau of Reclamation field office here, so we'll look around. We've got a little bit of a day use area right as you enter into the town. Looks like they got one of the old turbines from the dam over here, so. Alright, I'm just up the road from Canyon Ferry at the Shannon boat launch. I wouldn't even call Canyon Ferry a town. It's more of a collection of buildings, including the Bureau of Reclamation office, a visitor center, and some kind of learning center. I think it ran by the state. But I just pulled over here at the Shannon boat launch to check it out, and we'll keep moving. This is the Canyon Ferry Dam. There's no good spot to pull over and get a better look at it. You can just drive across the dam. It's a small dam, but this is going to wrap up the Canyon Ferry Reservoir. I want to thank you for watching.